draft season is the season of moral victories. But one person is holding it entirely hostage, Fitzy. Aaron Rodgers will not get the hell out of our lives fast enough. And the fact that he has not given the Pittsburgh Steelers a decision on the week of the NFL draft, when it was reported several times from several credible insiders that they would have a decision on their quarterback, not named Mason Damn Rudolph, respectfully, love you, Mason. It is insane to me that we are going to have another NFL news cycle hijacked by a quarterback who had a worse record as a starter for the Jets last year than Zach Wilson did in 2023.
This is where it just becomes a beautiful thing for the lovers of chaos, all right, the agents of chaos. This becomes a beautiful thing because the draft takes place Thursday night, right? The draft takes place in Green Bay, right? When I think Green Bay, and I think, how do you steal the story? Like, the easiest way for Aaron Rodgers, who says he doesn't seek the attention but always seems to do things that are attention-seeking, like most of the time, if I don't want anyone to pay attention to me, probably don't go on the Pat McAfee show. But, he says he doesn't want the attention, but he does. Most of the time, I look around and say, okay, we're just going to get a decision. For most guys, this is in Green Bay. You can't tell me that there isn't. To me, this is simple. Aaron Rodgers is going to announce his decision. It's going to get leaked right before the draft tips off, right before the first pick is on the clock. The entire story in Green Bay for the first night of the NFL draft is going to be about one Aaron Rodgers, because I think he's going to announce that he's signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers just as the draft begins. Now, maybe he announces he's retiring. Either way, whatever he announces, if he announces it on draft night, the entire conversation for 5 hours is going to have little to nothing to do with Shedeur anymore. It's all going to be about what are the Steelers going to do now that they know that Aaron Rodgers, and then it's going to be the next day. When you tune in to your favorite Friday morning show, if you tune in to Good Morning Football on the NFL Network the morning after the first night of the draft, if Aaron Rodgers has announced that he's retiring, let me ask you, what are they leading with? The shock of where Shedeur was finally drafted, or the retirement of future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers? We all know the answer to this. Aaron Rodgers is going to be the biggest story because he's going to announce his decision as the first round of the draft commences.
Either way, there will always be drama on draft night, and you can check out Dollar Shave Club Fox Sports Radio's Draft Night Live throughout the first round of the draft on Thursday night. It is, of course, brought to you by the wonderful folks at Dollar Shave Club, your place to get everything you need to stay smooth and smell great. Visit dollarshaveclub.com/draft and use promo code DRAFT for 20% off your order of $20 or more, plus free shipping. Free shipping, Fitzy. Drama and free shipping. That's dollarshaveclub.com/draft. Be sure to tune in to Fox Sports Radio's Draft Night Live, which is Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Throughout the first round of the draft, insider Jay Glazer, former Jets general manager Joe Douglas, college football Hall of Famer LeVar Arrington, and Fox Sports lead college football reporter Jenny Taft will have you covered for all 32 picks with predictions and reactions. That's Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern throughout the first round of the draft, live right here on Fox Sports Radio and with a live video simulcast on the Fox Sports Radio YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe. Brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. It would be the most Aaron Rodgers thing in the world, because I'm sure, you've talked at great length on your various Yahoo platforms or potentially even here on Fox Sports Radio about Aaron Rodgers' appearance on McAfee and how he said what was the line? That he's not decided on anything and he's not attached to anything. It was something a little bit more transcendent sounding than that, but you get my point. I'm paraphrasing. He talks a lot without actually saying anything, but there is going to come a time where Aaron Rodgers actually has to make a decision. I'm convinced, Fitzy, that, and I love your tinfoil hat conspiracy theory here. It delights me to no end, because that would just give me another reason to tee off on a quarterback who I think has been washed for quite some time, and we continue to talk about him as if he's still Super Bowl caliber, Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers, and we're many years removed from him even being Green Bay end of era Aaron Rodgers at this point in time. It's been a long time since I've seen Aaron Rodgers actually be the player that he used to be. I'm convinced he's going to play football somewhere in 2025. There's too many teams who will literally hold their draft hostage while he makes a decision throughout the course of an offseason and get edged by the fact that Aaron Rodgers could play for us. Aaron Rodgers could make us a competitor. Aaron Rodgers could keep us relevant in the AFC North as we try and scrounge and claw and scrap our way past Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph and Justin Fields and Russell Wilson and all these different things. Hell, Minnesota, I know they passed on him this first time around, but are you telling me if J.J. McCarthy doesn't look exactly the way that Kevin O'Connell wants him to, that they wouldn't at least consider giving that X in Aaron Rodgers a call? I guess it's not technically an X, but you know what I mean.
I think Minnesota would be the one place he would want to go. What gets tricky about this is, what do you do if you're Pittsburgh? Like, to me, it's pretty shocking to see one of the most stable and respected organizations in all of sports left in this game of musical chairs with no answer at the position. Like, everybody else at least figured out some. So I may not like the Giants' answer, but I at least understand what they're like. I understand, hey, it's the best of a bad situation. Like, what the hell else are you going to do, right? Like, I understand what their approach is. I don't understand how Pittsburgh got to this point, and if you talk to people, and I've talked to Charles Robinson at Yahoo a lot on our show Inside Coverage there, and he's made it very clear that Arthur Smith just simply didn't want Russell back, and they thought that there would be the opportunity to maybe work something out with Justin Fields, and Justin Fields didn't want to be there. So now what do you do? Well, you got to have some sort of, like, Mason Rudolph could not have been not even your plan D coming in. There's just no way in my mind that the Steelers, a competent, well-run organization, like, this is what happens to bad teams. The Steelers may still win 9 games because they're the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they're stuck, and this becomes just like the Kenny Pickett draft. I was covering the draft the year that Kenny Pickett was drafted, and my immediate reaction on air when the pick happened was, I don't like this pick because Kenny Pickett isn't a first-round quarterback. This just feels like a desperate team needed a quarterback, and he was the best guy there at the position they needed. That's what it feels like the Steelers are going to get stuck doing. Like, when the Steelers are on the clock with, I think, 21st pick off the top of my head, when they are on the clock with the 21st pick, my God, like, I think by then they may be stuck with the 4th best quarterback in this draft. So, like, it gets really tricky depending on what happens with Shedeur, depending on, like, if Shedeur is free-falling, are they taking him there? But also, I mean, Shefty was the one that tweeted out yesterday. He talked to a GM that doesn't have a first-round grade on a single quarterback in this year's draft. Like, even if they take Shedeur, is that really that's the answer? Like, Shedeur's best situation is not having to play this year. So, I don't know. I feel like the Steelers are screwed. And because the Steelers are screwed, they're sitting at the altar of Aaron Rodgers. But that's not a place I ever want to be, because I don't think Aaron Rodgers at his core gives a damn about anybody else's altar. He's only going to do what he wants to do, when he wants to do, how he wants to do it. And that's the way he's always operated. So they're relying on somebody that I just don't think you can rely on.
I don't understand why he still gets extended that latitude. Like, I know that we are so desperate for even reasonably effective and efficient quarterback play in the NFL. The fact that we cannot find 32 people to play it at a starting caliber level anywhere in the world, 32 people to play this position well. And it speaks to the degree of difficulty that playing NFL quarterback requires, even college quarterback, depending on which programs you're looking at, if you want to get into the weeds there. But I've known Arthur Smith for a long time, long before he was the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator, long before he was the Atlanta Falcons head coach. He's just a cute little assistant tight ends coach running around here, quality control guy here in Tennessee before he went on to become the OC and then have a successful run that ended up getting him a head coaching job. I have tried to wrap my head around this 10,000 times, Fitzy, because I know Arthur Smith. I don't know Mike Tomlin personally, but I know enough people in the league who have been around Mike Tomlin and the things that Mike Tomlin has not only survived in, but thrived in, to the point where he's never had a losing season in the NFL. And the fact that both of those men, along with many other respected football people who work for the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, and the respect that that organization deserves, they have earned it. The fact that they are in this spot is as mind-boggling to me as it is to you. And to your point, because I know we'll get to Shedeur Sanders at some point tonight. It is draft week after all. There's some gaslighting around the Giants at 3. I was reading as recently as this morning from Adam Schefter talking about the opportunity or the potential to see New York overdraft a quarterback, that quarterback specifically, just because we know Cam Ward is going number 1 off the board to Tennessee. I can't think of a worse possible situation to put Shedeur in. He's going to have to play if they draft him. If Aaron Rodgers is not a viable option for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the only reason they're in this position, Fitzy, is because as recently, I was at owners' meetings in Palm Beach, okay? They had, and I can't remember which Rooney currently is the controlling owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the ownership was on record talking about the fact that they expected an Aaron Rodgers deal soon. That was a month ago, almost, at this point in time. They got an organization that almost never gets got by Aaron Rodgers, who at this point in his career is grifting off his own relevancy that he had, 4 or 5 years ago. And it sounds like a lot of personal criticism that I have of that man, but it is all professional at this point in time, because I think the way that he conducts himself is frankly not professional.